Hey everybody, Nancy here from American Pet Professionals, and welcome back to another episode of Digging into the Pet Industry. We are airing live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So wherever you're watching from, thank you for watching. And if you're listening to the podcast, thank you so much for listening. So today I'm excited to have our next guest on, APP member Ina Jones of Ava's Pet Palace. Welcome, Ina. How are you?
Hey, Nancy. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to have you on our show and talk all things being a mom, a president of a company, and all the things. But we do like to start back from the beginning a little bit. So tell me, where did you start before you were in the pet industry?
Yeah, so I had no experience in the pet industry before Ava's Pet Palace or CPG, really. My background is I started like right out of college doing like some technical stuff. My undergrad degree is in management information systems, but somehow like kind of found real estate, and that's what real estate
Oh,
and
wow.
construction. And so like that's what I did for up until 2018. So I um I worked for a new home builder. I worked for one of the largest commercial real estate companies in the world
Wow.
as a real estate manager. And then my last position before coming on full time with Ava was business development for an construction company.
I caught me off guard. I had no idea any of that. That's
Yeah,
so
I'm
cool.
still a licensed real estate broker. I never practiced, but I did keep my license just in case, I want to add
Yeah.
another career down the line.
Maybe you can make a palace, a legit,
Right?
a legit
That's
palace.
coming. That is coming.
Wow, so that's juggling a lot, doing everything that you just mentioned, working in that field. That is a very high pressure, high energy field. So that's so cool. I had no idea that that's what your background was. So thank you for sharing us that with us. It really really interesting. So in 2018, I want to know, like, I'm sure there's most people here know who Ava's Pet Palace is and what the company does. But for the five people that don't know, can you tell everybody what the company is and what it does?
Yeah, so well today we are a treat company. So Ava specializes in making single ingredient and limited ingredient organic freeze dried dog treats. And then
Mhm.
we also have a cat treat, but we're expanding new products. And
Oh, wow.
that's what we are today. We started back in 2016. So
Okay.
Ava she had the idea actually before that, and you can actually like see the picture of the job plan that she drew on her website. But she handed me this job plan and she was like 6 years old, and I was like, oh, this is
Oh,
so cool. Like it said, Ava's Pet Palace and job plan, and she drew out this like elaborate palace, and something told me to keep it, and so I kept it. Like I still have it today. And a couple years later we decided that you know what, let's try. Like she kept asking, she wanted to start a business, and I think that's because she saw Michael and I. So even though we both had like full-time jobs,
right.
we always have like had a very entrepreneurial spirit. And mine goes back to like high school. And like she saw that and she felt that, and she wanted to start a business too. So we started just like making dog treats in the kitchen. And she oh
So
I'm
that no, that's okay. So that was 2016.
yes.
Okay. So how old was Ava then?
So she was 8 and 9
Eight,
both.
nine.
Yep.
Wow. And now, guys, she's a senior in high school. So it's been a while that you guys have
Yep.
been at it. So what was the caveat to her? All right, you had the drawing, right? Which I have
Mhm.
seen, which is adorable. I'm so glad you kept that, right? That's so cool that
Yeah.
you kept that. What was the caveat to her deciding, like, I want to bake dog treats and I want to do something like this?
Well, I think because she wanted to like start a palace and there was like no way we could actually like start with this whole palace. Michael was like Michael is my husband, who
Mhm.
Ava's
Yep.
dad. It was kind of like, him like, let's start with treats, right? She loves to bake. She still loves to bake. And so it just felt like really like,
Natural.
yes, it was
Yeah.
very natural.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. So 8 or 9 years old, and you know, did you realize at that time that you would end up being the president of the company and helping shape not only the company's future, but Ava's role in it? I mean, like when you think back to when she was first baking those first dog treats.
So like I'm very optimistic and a positive person. So I always believed like Ava's Pet Palace would be bigger than what it was when we started and what it was for those first few years. It was kind of in the beginning we were like kind of molding her, like getting her to be like find her voice and find her confidence.
Mhm.
Ava was an extremely shy young girl, and if and many people have seen her now, she like lights up on the camera. She's
Yeah.
doing pitches in front of people, and that all like came about just because of the foundation that we built over those few years. Um, so to answer your question, I don't think I thought that I would be the president of Ava's Pet Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know if we thought that like in those terms, like it was always like, okay, we're co-owners, Ava's a minor, we're
Right,
gonna
right.
guide her. Yeah.
That's so interesting. So when you first had that first batch of treats, where did you go for the very first type of like sale? Was it a pet expo, a craft fair? Where did you guys
Mhm.
go?
So that picture's also on her website. Her very first show was a holiday show, which she still does this same event every year. I think the only year she didn't do it was 2020 because of
Right.
COVID. But yeah, we went to that was her first craft show. She was very shy,
Oh,
but she just like, she loved being around the animals. Like, if you
yeah.
can have Ava around if Ava could be around animals, that's where that is where she was the happiest. So, yeah, it was a Christmas show.
I love that you guys still go back and do that Christmas show because a lot of times, people start, right, at that humble beginning of a
Mhm.
Christmas show and then they don't go back, right? And
Yeah.
they kind of, it's not that they forget, but they just don't go back. And I think that for the people that supported you in the beginning, they probably have loved to seen her grow each year. And you
Mhm.
as the mom have probably loved to have seen that as well.
Yes, absolutely. And we even the rescues that we worked with very early on, and even though we've worked with like hundreds of rescues over the last few years, we still like those couple of rescues that were like there in the beginning, they are also like still very important for us because they kind of uh like helped to introduce her to people as well before, she went viral in 2020.
Right, right, right. Yes. And so when before 2020 and the animal rescues, what did she do to help the animal rescues?
Well, she always donated treats, so that was
Okay.
something that she always did. We would go to the shelter, but because she was was so young, there's not like much you can do, but she
Mhm.
was able to so like one of the rescues, so she's made blankets, but one of the rescues, they would like set up in Petco, like with
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
rescue dogs, yeah, and so
Mhm.
she would like be, somebody there with one of the dogs, and we fostered. So
Right.
that's something we've done like more recently too.
Mhm. I remember seeing the videos of Ava talking about, like the different animals and like the different things about animals. And like,
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I
I
think
told
that
her
was,
she should start doing those animal fact videos again. Those are so cute. Her memory was like, I'm like, "Oh my god," like sh either I would, like, research it, but most of the time I would have her go to Google and research those topics, and
yeah.
then
And
yeah,
she just was like such a natural at
yeah.
it. And that
Mhm,
it was really interesting to see that. And so, she did go viral in 2020. I feel like I saw those videos before 2020 and was following her career, paying attention because I'm like, look at this little kid and her
mhm,
parents helping her, right? Because my generation and maybe your generation was the same. We have a little bit of an age gap, but it was like, go to school, go to college, get a job. There
absolutely.
was no like start your own business unless your family had their own business.
Mhm.
So, what is it about entrepreneurship do you think that is appealing to families?
That's a great question because I absolutely love entrepreneurship and I feel like I always have. It's just there's just something about like starting like building something from nothing essentially. Um I think well I can only speak for us, but I think for us as a family running the business it's like it's challenging, right? So
Right.
like there's a dynamic of, when is it business time, when is it not business time,
Mm,
and when you work in the house, it's like that line. I mean, at one point, Ava's Pet Palace was in our kitchen,
right.
so it wasn't like, and this was after 2020. So,
Yeah.
but there's like just like being a family and being able to build something together, and then with our dynamic, with it being our daughter's business and helping her to build something and like really building into like helping her build her future. I just think it's like amazing.
That's really wonderful. Like, because you could be such a big part of it and helping her get to that point.
Right.
When she started to go viral in 2020, as a mom, what was the hardest part of yes, it was amazing that she was going viral, but were there any hard parts, like, that you had to control or anything like that? She's laughing. I can only imagine.
Oh man, yes, there were there were a lot of hard parts. Ava was fine though, right? Like, um, I think I think the hardest part with Ava was, it was just a lot of work. I mean, it was like the summer and we
Oh,
when
yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
went viral, we were like still baking treats in the house. So
Okay.
we literally went from 3 orders to 3 to 10 orders a month on her website to like 1,200 in a day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And,
Wow.
we were baking from the oven in our kitchen, our little KitchenAid mixer
Yep.
and, one cookie sheet and so
Cutting
there was like
everything. Yeah.
yeah, so there
Yeah.
was like this big change that happened on a Friday, and by
Wow.
Monday, I gave, like, my 2 weeks notice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it
'Cause you gotta
happened that
fulfill all those
fast.
orders and keep everybody
Mhm.
happy. That's a lot of pressure.
Yep. And there was just a lot of change. I think that part was probably the most, I guess the most challenging for her. She spent all summer baking dog treats, and we
Yeah.
all did. I mean,
Right.
there were tons of sleepless nights for me.
Wow.
Um,
What year did you go from baking in the kitchen to, like, a fulfillment place that was baking for you?
so 2021. So we
Okay.
had our first batch of the biscuit treats, which the organic treats, which are pretty much the same recipes that we started in the
Mhm.
kitchen. Those it was over a year later. So I want to say
Okay.
October of
Oh, wow.
2021.
So you
Yeah,
guys
where
were
we
busy for a full year.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Wow.
We laugh
Wow.
about it now. Like, can you
Yeah.
believe like we were doing
Yeah,
that?
I know. Oh my god. I used to bake no corn, no soy, no wheat dog treats in 2001
Oh
and
wow.
sold in 5 stores, and I worked full time, so I understand the everything that you're
Yeah.
saying.
And
But
you were way ahead of your time with
yeah.
that too.
Yeah, and you know what? It was not as easy to find the places to have somebody bake for you, like all these
Mhm.
things. So, but yeah, so that's why I give a lot of respect to anybody that's starting a treat company in their kitchen, and that's where it usually starts is in their kitchen, right? You have
Yep.
a reason that you want it to bake the treats. Let me ask you this: when you guys were looking to get the organic seal, which is a really big deal, how long
Mhm.
did that take?
So that kind of went in that was in conjunction with the manufacturer. So the manufacturer has to have that
All that.
certification. So
Hmm.
we had to find
Yep.
a manufacturer with that. Um, but just finding a good manufacturer in general is like it's still hard because the minimums can be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And if you're a
Yeah.
small business like we are, like that's really tough to uh, you know, to be able to fulfill some or to meet some of these MOQs that some of these manufacturers have. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was on the manufacturer to have the
Okay. So that
organic
helps.
certification. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, because then they can kind of weave you there, right? So
Mhm.
besides like the amazing part of her going viral and growing so quickly, which is, every small business's dream. Maybe they don't want to be baking at 3 in the morning, but that is the dream, right? That's why everybody starts into
Absolutely.
business. And that's the effect that you want. And I remember seeing her just everywhere. She was everywhere. Which was amazing. And one of the things that I really loved about when Ava was and you guys were going to um, be at a show, the community that surrounded Ava and the support. I think it was amazing. And it really warmed my heart to see everybody jump in and like help her, from people that didn't ever even met her, heard of her, like just
Yep.
saw her story, you guys' story, and wanted to really jump in. What would you say to somebody that is just starting out and maybe doesn't have that support, maybe has not gone viral yet?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I think it's really important to have a community, even if that's like 2 people. So, like, try to find a community, like somebody that you can, even if it's just bouncing ideas off of, like, or having a support system, because it is it's like inevitable. There's inevitably gonna be like a lot of challenges,
Mm,
and like without having a support or um it's easier to, like, wanna quit and wanna give up.
yeah,
So I really think just having, and so our support system was our family,
right.
when we initially started. So even if you don't have that, like, there's so many pet businesses, like on Instagram now, that even like we're still meeting new people and like
Yeah.
adding to our, community of people that we support and that support us. So I think that, like, just trying to find, and it can be me. So if somebody's watching this and you
Oh,
want somebody like that to bounce ideas off of, or
I love it.
that, yeah, you need like a little push, a little motivation, like, I'm happy to do it. And I do it for people. People write me, and ask me for things and advice, and I am like, I just love doing it.
I love that because you know what? I always think about like it shouldn't be that hard. People shouldn't gatekeep and make it that
Mhm.
difficult.
Yep.
Yes, you want to be a successful business, but I always think there's enough to go around,
Yep.
right? I
Mhm.
Not to talk about me, but back in the day I worked in TV and it was such a hard industry to work in. And I was like, I'm in the pet industry and I started my own business. I'm like, I want to help people just like you, like talk to them,
Mhm.
right? So I love that you said that. It's such an important thing. Aside from the amazing going viral, growing so quickly, what was the first big milestone as a company that you guys were celebrating at home?
Hmm. Big milestone. So I'm big on, like, celebrating, like, the little, like
Yep,
the small wins, because the
that's
big ones
important.
are, a little fewer and far, however the saying is, far between. But I would say, like, the biggest was probably um, getting into her very first store,
Mm.
which was I can't remember if it was the 3 Bentley's Pet Stuff stores
Oh,
or
yeah.
this one shop this was around the block from our house at the time. I'm gonna pretend it was him. I think it was him.
Yeah, yeah.
And we still keep in contact with him, and he has, like, a huge store now,
Oh, I love that.
locally, and, I
Your
think
first
that was
store is
it.
a big deal.
What was that? I'm
Your
sorry.
first store is such a big
Yes,
deal.
it
Yeah.
was. It was a huge deal, and it was just like us, like, y bringing, like, I don't know, a few, uh, of her bones, like her cheese bones, and,
Yeah.
like, them being in a jar, but it was just, like, so cool that her sign was up in the
Oh,
dog wash. And
love it.
yes, I think that was probably, one of her biggest, like, first milestones.
That's such a cool memory to look back on as a business. And I know you said before, like some of the difficulty of being like a family business is like is it family time or is it business time? How would you, as a team, manage expectations as your business has been growing now?
Um, well, I think, how do we manage it? Well, everybody kinda, like, knows their role, and
Okay.
everybody is, like, motivated, and, um I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Ava is a teenager, right? Like,
Right.
there's that. So it's
Yes.
not like it's not always perfect. Ava, when I joke that, like, when I joke about Ava, they're like, "Sweet Ava?" Like, yeah, sweet Ava.
Don't out her too much now. That was one of my questions. What is the hardest part about raising a teenager CEO? Listen, that's a time
Yeah.
when, you're we were all teenagers once, right? So we
Yes.
understand what she's going through, but as a mom, it's gotta be hard.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, she gets moody and,
Yeah.
maybe she doesn't wanna do something, and I mean, it's okay, it's fine, I get it, like, I was
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
teenage girl at one point too. Um, so, yeah, I just think we kinda just know our role, and because everybody is, like, working towards the same
Mhm.
goal, it kinda, like, makes it easy for everybody to, pull their weight and, like, really just be focused on reaching our next goal.
Yeah, exactly. And what would you say to another mom who's out there raising a teenage CEO or a kid that wants to start their own business?
Yeah, well, I think one of the most important things, like, we can do as parents is, like, not, like, taking over, right? Like,
Mm,
it's easy to, like, try
yep,
and put all your ideas on the children or your child, and, like, kids are smart, like, kids are creative, kids don't have, like, any, some of, like the past that, that the parents have, and,
right.
they have fresh ideas, so I think, like, letting the child lead, um, is really important because, like, that leadership that they'll learn from that, it, like, goes beyond,
I love that.
it goes beyond just, like, this business. You take that, like, out into the world, so.
Yeah, and I think it shows by you letting her do that and with
Mhm,
all of her like you said she was shy when she was younger and now she's like all ready to go. So I really love that you said that because I can see you wanting to put your own ideas on everything as a mom and be like, but
mhm,
this might work better. They kind of have to learn certain things on their own as well.
yeah,
So I think that's really important. Do you have a group of mom friends that are also like in business, not necessarily pet?
nope.
All right, we need to start that. We need to start that. Come on, people. Comment if you're a mom and you're going through, raising kids. Because you not only have Ava, but you have 3 other kids, right?
Mhm,
So
yep.
you have all different age kids. So how do you juggle it all is what I wanna know.
Somebody asked me that last week, and it's like, I don't know any different, like, this it is what it is, right? Like, we do what we have to do, and, um, yeah, like, I think because I'm not, like, a high energy person, like, I'm pretty chill, but,
Yeah.
like, I work, right? Like, I
Right,
gotta
right,
work,
right.
and I think because I'm like that it really just is this is really, like, it's kinda easy for me. Like, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Like, even our 2 younger daughters, they're 6 and, the other one will be 9 next month. They have a business too, and
Oh, what do
yeah,
you wanna
so
share?
yes, sir. So it's called Unicorn Girl Marie, and we started it when they were like 4, 2 and 4 or
Oh my
something. It was
god.
like during COVID, and,
Right.
so they started by making, like, little necklaces, but now they've, like,
Oh.
expanded to bracelets and earrings, and they'll actually be, like, selling their stuff, like, right next to Ava at this event that we're going to this weekend.
Oh,
So,
okay,
just
okay.
trying to teach
That's
them, just teach them about business and, what revenue is and what a profit is, things like that, so,
Yeah, they're gonna have such an education more
yeah.
than if you're starting out in your 20s. That's so cool. I love that. That's adorable. I didn't know that the 2 of their kids and your baby is not quite starting a business yet.
Not yet. He
Not yet.
probably he probably wants to though, but, he'll be
Aw.
he'll be 2 next month.
Yeah, that's so sweet. I mean, you know what? When you see what your older siblings are doing, especially in that context, I could totally
Mhm.
see them wanting to do that. That's really cute.
Yep.
And so what is your goal moving forward with Ava's Pet Palace as she's a senior in high school now?
Well, as Ava would say, she wants to be a worldwide pet lifestyle brand, and that's what we're working towards. So we do have, like, some short-term goals to, add a few more new products,
Nice.
and, And, we have our funder
Mhm.
that's live now, and we're raising to, raising from the community, because the community is really what got us here. And so,
Right.
we want to do that with our community, and we like to hire. I'm
Mm.
still the only full-time employee.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
hopefully the
so
Funder would help towards that hiring process and
yeah,
everything, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool. And so, how long does that Funder campaign happen?
We don't have an end date. We're
Okay.
gonna do it until we reach our goal.
Okay, gotcha. So we'll share that in the link if anybody's interested. I really find that amazing that in this day and age, right? If you have something, you have a community of people that you probably never met online, right? You have
Mhm.
your virtual community that
Yep.
are like, "What? You're doing a Funder? You have a new product?" It's really incredible how people have come together to help either an entrepreneur like yourself and Ava, or even somebody that's just starting out. I mean, it's really incredible. So
It
I
really is.
I would say, like, I love that you guys have been promoting it, right? Not just the campaign, but everything that you're doing. I feel like some people get stuck in their not wanting to promote, and I'm like, "No, you have to tell people about it, even if you
Yeah.
don't wanna tell people about it,"
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
That's really cool. So, what else do you need to make that goal a reality? All the new products and everything.
I think once we are able to, secure the help, and then also we would, kinda use that for, marketing and advertising,
Mhm.
and just getting, a team in place. I think at that point, the sky is the limit. And then
Yeah,
Once Ava is 18, so that's kinda why we've kind of managed her growth over the last few years, just because she has been in high school. Well,
yeah,
and we want her to be a part of, the next level of her business. And
right,
she'll be 18 next year. She hasn't decided, if she wants to where she wants to go to college, if she wants to stay close or go away, but
right.
she has time, and we're, totally open to, whatever she decides she wants to do.
I love
She's
that, I
gonna
love that.
continue Ava's Pet Palace, but as far as
Yeah.
college, yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, everybody has their own path, whether it's taking that gap year. I have a nephew who did that, and now he's on to his
Mhm.
doctorate. So, but he's like, I need a year off
Yeah.
after COVID and everything because they missed their graduation from college and
Mhm.
all of that craziness. And now he's like, super focused. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting, but that's really cool. So, what has been the biggest hurdle of the company's growth recently?
Um, well, I would say capital.
Yep.
Keeping up
Like
with
most. Yep.
inventory. You're right, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the typical answer of any small business, but really, that's been uh, a big hurdle,
Hmm.
is, just having the money to do the things that we would like to do.
Nice. Right. Capital and all the things that you need to do. Totally understandable.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for somebody that is thinking of starting a pet business? Maybe they're watching this or listening to the podcast and they're like, "Oh, I want to do a pet business. I've had this idea." What would you tell them?
Well, I would say that today it's a lot easier to start
Mhm.
a pet business than it was, even 5 years ago.
Yep.
I this the same advice I gave before, finding a community. It is
Mhm.
so important, because the amount of things that we've learned, from other people, in the space, is,
Yeah.
really been priceless. So I think just having a community of other either pet business owners or aspiring pet business owners to grow with is, really important.
I love that. What defines success for you personally?
Oh man. I think it is, being able to, like, work, I guess. I use the word work, but, in your purpose.
Mm,
I feel I love to connect people and teach people, and I feel like I'm, working in my purpose now.
I love that. I love that. I'm not even gonna go any further. And does that say "you can" behind you on the wall?
Oh, yes, it says, "You can
See? There
have
you go.
started."
I love it. Motivation behind you and from
That's
you.
right.
I love it. So, Ina, is there anything else that you'd like to add about your journey as being a mom to a CEO and or Ava's Pet Palace?
Anything else? Well, I will end this with um kind of like a quote, because it's something that we live by daily. Um, so if you're starting a business or if you're in business, there's going to be challenges. You're going to fall, right?
Mhm.
But it doesn't matter how many times you fall as long as you get back up. And that's the most important thing. And every failure is, I hate to even call it a failure, it's just a lesson and it's something that you learn from.
I love that. What a way to end this episode. Thank you so much for saying that. It's so true. And I think there's so much to be said for what you just said.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Like, this is my first live interview, my first
Yay!
interview alone. So
I
thank you
love
so
it.
much.
I love it. You did fantastic. So,
Thank you.
where can people find more information about you and about Ava's Pet Palace?
So Ava's website is avaspetpalace.com.
Okay.
You can find her on Instagram, everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, everything, at Ava's Pet Palace. But I also have come from behind the scenes, and I have my own Instagram page now.
Yay! I didn't know
Ina,
that.
yeah, it's Ina underscore Ava's Pet Palace, and then I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Okay, we will put all those links in the comment section so anybody that wants to connect with you can. Thank you so much for being here and
Thank
sharing
you,
your
Nancy.
inspirational story. And I hope to see you in person at some point soon.
Yes.
All right, everybody, have a great rest of your Tuesday. Ina, thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys have a great week.
Thank you. Bye.